Ghana. For me, it's very similar when I went to India. It was the best thing I could have ever done because it done exactly what you said. It made me see them in the same light. But also while I was on that journey, I had to peel back the layers of who I thought I was. And in that, there was a better understanding of who I was, which I needed to further my own existence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the things that I would love to talk about that's in your book is the difference between expecting things to get better in the world because those people are going to fix it, whoever those people are, versus taking responsibility and recognizing that the world is my consciousness, and then going in that direction, which I think is part of the new consciousness. So we're going to take a quick commercial break here because we still live in that paradigm, and when we come back, maybe we can get into that a little bit.
What is the most exciting new concert venue in northern Colorado? The Dome at Sunrise Ranch. Having already hosted Grammy-nominated blues singer Ruthie Foster, local star Liz Barnes, and other Bring the House Down acts this year, the Dome at Sunrise Ranch has scheduled Patty Larkin and Maya Sharp for August 6th, Tuck and Patty for September 17th, and Carla Barnoff and Celeste Krenz on November 5th. Come for dinner and the show, or just the show. In most cases, there is a free reception following the show where you can chat with the performers in a casual atmosphere. Get your tickets now at sunriseranch.org/concerts. That's sunriseranch.org/concerts. Are you interested in participating in cutting-edge workshops and seminars? Are you part of a group looking for a unique setting combining excellent conference facilities with great food and a warm atmosphere? Is it time to get away on a personal retreat in the unique beauty of the foothills of the Rockies? Or maybe you are feeling a new sense of spirituality and searching for people who understand. All of these opportunities await you at Sunrise Ranch in Loveland, Colorado. The website for this remarkable place is www.sunriseranch.org. That's sunriseranch.org.
Welcome back. This is Larry Pearlman. I'm your host in Evolutions in Consciousness. With me today is Jason Gregory, author of Way of the Weirdo. And you can join this conversation if you'd like. There's a toll-free line that won't even cost you a dime. 1-877-230-3062. And Jason, before we get back into our conversation, I'd like to give you an opportunity to give out contact information. Anybody that might like to contact you.
Okay, well, my website's still in the process of being built, so anyone can contact me on the One World Within network, which is found on YouTube or Twitter at youtube.com/oneworldwithin, or you can contact me via email on jasongregory@hotmail.com.au.
Great. Awesome. Well, just before we left, we talked about how so many people feel, well, things will get better when we just elect a new president, or things will get better, now that I've changed my church, or things will get better, based on somebody out there doing something that's going to make my life better, as opposed to looking at the fact that the world is in my consciousness, so there's only one person that can actually change it.
Exactly. Well, that's the current mode of thinking in the majority of the people at the moment, is that we don't need to change ourselves because, the president will change it, or the prime minister, or the Catholic Church will come in and change it, that's all erroneous. I know this through my own existence, and you would know this through your own existence, Larry, that the only thing that ever changes in your own life is when you change yourself. And that's the only thing that ever helps. When we are pointing blame, or when we are seeking refuge from an external source, for some reason we never get what we want. We're always seeking freedom on the external. when it's all internal. And when one goes within their own consciousness, when one goes within their own self and within their own shadow to face their shadow, that's when they evolve. That's when they shine light on the darker sides of their existence. That's when they begin to grow consciously. And then you experience that in reality. Mm-hmm. That's the truth. And with people who have done that, have all experienced that. It's hard to language that to somebody who hasn't taken their steps in their own personal evolution, and maybe they're not ready to hear that at that moment, which, you know, I acknowledge as well. But it is only in self-empowering in yourself which will change the world. This is what I did on a tour I did a couple of months ago, was to try and tell people to only look within. A lot of people came to me with questions, especially with the way I addressed the magicians in Way of the Weirdo, which is built on a lot of conspiracy research over many years. But it's nothing that I'm worried about at all at present. It's just something I felt compelled to write. But a lot of people who are still in that same mode of consciousness were coming to me saying, what do you mean by just look within? How is that going to change anything? And my simple question to them is, have you tried it? Mm-hmm. Like, seriously, have you been sincere and tried that? Not just for one day, tried it and lived by it. I live by it. Some days I go there, I go out in my day and I just let things happen without my consciousness being involved in the reality, trying to get, you know, as we see the external world is always there to try and suck that energy of your consciousness into some mode of information. But have you ever just went out there and just let it all happen in front of your eyes and see what happens from that state? And I can tell you, a lot of remarkable things happen when you just let things happen out in the world. And there's not many people, I should say, that are just letting things happen out in the world. They're all doing, busy. There's a lot of noise within the mind. Usually when there's a lot of noise within the mind, as above, so below, it's reflected into the reality we experience. So one who is delving within and peeling the layers back of their illusion and uncovering that light within, then that truly does reflect into the world. I know that sounds very new agey and a lot of people won't comprehend what I'm sort of saying there, but just try that. Peel the layers of your own identity back and see what happens from there in your own reality. Forget about what's happening. Forget about the external noise. Forget about the wars. Forget about what silly carbon tax is going to come in. Just concentrate on yourself and live by that and see how that changes the world and the people around you. It's a direct vibration. It's a direct energy that does affect all around you and who are in contact with you. And I know that from my own existence. And you may too as well, Larry, but that is the key to changing the world. It's not, freedom is not seeked without, it's seeked within. That's the truth. That's where freedom is born. And we focus so much energy in this world on mortgages, on car payments. We're so focused at doing that, but we are never focused on what freedom is. We should, our sole purpose in this world should be to know freedom and to live from freedom. But for some reason, we don't focus any energy on that.
Yeah, it's true. Something that I learned a while back was that it's really not important to have the most. It's important to need the least. And that doesn't mean that you won't have anything. I mean, you may have a lot in your life, but you recognize that it's not the stuff that I have in my life that matters. You know, it may be there and it's all for good use. You know, I am not one that would say money's a bad thing. Money's terrible. Money's fine. But, if your purpose is to accumulate money, then you're going in the wrong direction. If money happens to come to you, and that doesn't mean you don't do anything about it. I don't mean you just sit cross-legged and wait for money to drop from heaven. But if you just go about following your spirit as to what you think you should be doing, it's amazing the things that will come into your life whenever you need them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's nothing good or bad about money. Money's a transfer of energy. It's how you value things.
Mm-hmm.
We've got I suppose a lot of people who are becoming more aware do have a disassociated view with money. What happened in my own life is I sort of had a better relationship with money. Not that I think that it's necessary, but it's there. It's a transfer of energy. And like you said, just following that spirit and just letting that unfold from out of nothing and just seeing where we can grow from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know when we talk about looking at the world and what's your consciousness of what's going around you, and as you say, not being pushed around by the things that are happening in the external. For me, the clues are, if I ever feel like a victim, I know I've moved out of proper consciousness. If I'm ever find myself blaming somebody, including myself, for something, I've moved out of proper consciousness, because there's no room for that really if you're just moving on spirit. This is kind of a minor point, but it's the way life works. Yesterday I went down to play racquetball, and I had packed up all my racquetball stuff in my gym bag and drove on down there. And when I got to the place, I had forgotten the bag. I packed it all, left it on the bed, And there was a time when I would have reacted to that, what am I, an idiot? And how could you be so stupid? And now what am I, and I got to drive all the way back and all that kind of stuff. And I found that I immediately went to, oh, well, I guess I'm not going to play racquetball. So I'm here downtown. I wonder what it is that life is bringing me that I should be here for. And when you move on that basis, it changes your world.
Yeah, it does. Like, exactly. What puts you downtown? Obviously, racquetball was out of the question. The universe said, no way, that's not going to happen. And that's from a heightened state of consciousness. And that's exactly how I see reality. I get put in certain situations, if I view it as good or bad, but it's there for some purpose. And usually when you go through that experience, you realize what that purpose was, to either meet somebody or something you had to experience, which is perfect for your growth. And a lot of things that people try to do is fight these experiences. Like you said, those thoughts instantly come like, damn, I was supposed to play racquetball. Like, we all still have that within the mind when we have some sort of thing that we believe that we were supposed to do for the day, but it becomes interrupted. The mind instantly comes in and goes, you idiot, like, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. But then when you just let those thoughts subside and let them be, you see that deeper essence. You begin to dance with reality. And this is a problem with the way we live our existence in this world. I don't know about in America, but in Australia, we have retirement at 65 years of age. Mm-hmm. And from that time, what happens is people accumulate, don't experience to get to this goal of 65. And the whole time they forgot to dance. Mm-hmm. They get to the age of 65 and they go, well, it's still the same as when I was 25. So all of that time and that process, you forgot to dance. You let these experiences that you believe were hindering your spirit get in the way, and then you forgot to dance the whole way along. Mm-hmm. I love the process of dancing. Mm-hmm. That's why I love the process of writing a book. People say, isn't it going to be good when the book comes out, when Way of the Weirdo comes out? And it's like, I'm not really looking at that at the moment. I'm enjoying the process of putting it together, of confirming my research and confirming of who I am within. I love the process of it all. Mm. Yeah. I love the chaos. It's kind of funny because I like the chaos and then the order that is built out of that.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny that you should put it that way, because I just said that the other day to a friend of mine who had a room that was sheer chaos. And she wanted that room to be a bedroom. It had been an office, and everything had to get moved out and everything had to get moved around. And when I walked in, I said, great, hey, let's do this. And she said, well, you want to help me? And I go, yeah, bringing order out of chaos? Are you kidding? That's the most wonderful. I love that, And You're right, it's the process. It's not so much concerned with the result. It's just, what am I expressing in the moments